Well, actually, my next book, in fact, I've already written 3 chapters, and I had to postpone that book. It's also Penguin, and I signed a contract with them more than a year ago. I was supposed to deliver this year, but I've had to postpone that book because I wrote a new edition of Mayawati and adding 5 chapters to update, her defeat in the Uttar Pradesh elections and what she plans to do next, what is the future of Mayawati. So this book is about actually my own life, not really a full-fledged autobiography, but about a certain period of my life, long year ago, almost 40 years ago, when I was a young man, I became a Naxalite. So it's called My Naxalite Days, and it's a story about how I came from Calcutta to St. Stephen's College, very elite college in Delhi. My father was a senior bureaucrat, felt that, I would escape the Naxalite movement. Those days, of course, Calcutta had been taken over, and I'm talking about the late 60s, early 70s, when, Calcutta was, and all its educational institutions like Presidency College, Jadavpur University, was absolutely taken over by the Naxalite movement. So here I was, sent, almost banished by the city to Delhi, and to a most exclusive, very elitist college called St. Stephen's College from Calcutta to escape the Naxalite movement. But paradoxically, I became a part of the St. Stephen's Naxalite group and left for Bihar, and that became a quite incredible story which I've been thinking of writing about, because I did spend at least 2 years, underground, as they say, with a whole range of experiences. Of course, I never was really formally a part so much of the Naxalite party, because I soon realized that, this was not the politics I at all was, interested in. And I just felt that they were too militarist and too narrow-minded, really, to really make a revolution. And even whether a revolution of the kind the Naxalites prescribed was at all possible. So to some extent, this book this is a memoir, but also I look at Naxalite movement then and now. So these are questions which have been addressed to me by many young people who want to know that, as a former Naxalite, how do I see the new Naxalite movement, which is burgeoning and it become a major force. And so I will be analyzing these things in the introduction and in the epilogue, and also to sort of talk about my story. So it's a difficult book in many ways, because structurally it operates at many levels, but I hope that it will throw new insights, and it will make for good reading. I don't have a prescription. I don't think it is easy to have any kind of prescription as such. I think politics of a country evolves over a long time through a certain process, and many factors go into this. I do believe what is happening in Indian politics is that the kind of idea that is India, which was pushed by the Congress party, the party of the freedom struggle, has started getting a little jeopardized, because the national entity that was the Congress has started unraveling. I think it started unraveling quite early. I think what happened was, even in the 60s, it was quite clear that the Congress was losing its steam. Indira Gandhi tried to resurrect it by putting her family, the Gandhi-Nehru dynasty, as the kind of symbol of a nation. That's, I think, badly unraveled. I think that was no solution at all. Briefly, the BJP tried to bring up what I call a fake alternative through this artificial straitjacket called the Hindutva, almost copying from across the border, and having a kind of Hinduized Pakistan, and that too has really unraveled very badly. So, we have now reached a situation where the national entities have started fading, both the Congress and the BJP, and let me also not forget to mention the communist parties, which was the third leg, and they also had a national profile. They also have been unraveling, and the communists also lack complete credibility across the country. Whatever the little force they have are limited to regional identities. So, this is a huge challenge to the idea that is India, whether India can survive as a nation, whether India should survive as one nation, or should we go back to the drawing board and look at the parameters. And why I say this is that without a national political entity, you are not going to have a nation in the classical sense. Even if we look at a coalition system where two political parties lead, what it seemed like not so long ago that the Congress would lead one coalition, the BJP would lead another coalition, that also is not happening. The Congress is getting less and less allies, the BJP similarly. So, we could be looking at a pre-British situation where you would get the 80 kingdoms of antiquity, which was of course across South Asia. So, this is India in the making. In fact, I am hoping that after my Naxalite book, I will completely concentrate on this and do a series of books on this, to look at really what is happening to Indian politics. I mean that I think will be my definitive work, and that I would like to concentrate and travel across the country, talk to a lot of people, and really open up every debate. Because I think we have to go back to roots, talk to people and find out that how Indian politics is playing out. So, I do not have any prescription, but certainly there is a lot of learning curve, and we are seeing a very politically fluid situation and a completely open-ended scenario.